Hey everyone, it's Laura Myers for CMS-Connected, and I'm here to engage in a panel discussion between Kentico and Ucommerce. So with me I have Peter, Soren, and Michael. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
We'll kick things off with Peter, you discussing how a lot of people have been hearing about the new integration between Kentico 11 and Ucommerce. So how did this come about and why?
Mm-hmm. So with Kentico, we originally started as a content-first platform. We have always been very strong in helping customers create and manage and publish content on their websites and other channels. Mm-hmm. And in fact, over the years, we also built a certain level of e-commerce functionality because many customers came to us saying, look, we really love Kentico, we want to use it for our website, but we also want to have some e-commerce functionality on our website. So we built originally our e-commerce solution as part of our all-in-one package. However, throughout the years, we realized that we cannot be the best in everything, and we realized that we cannot compete effectively with best-of-breed e-commerce platforms. Mm-hmm. So that's how we started partnering with Ucommerce.
Mm-hmm. And Soren, question for you. What can Kentico customers accomplish with Ucommerce that might have been difficult or impossible to accomplish before?
So I think the primary thing that we bring to the table is the ability to address a larger type of solution than what was possible before. Mm-hmm. Ucommerce is inherently a multi-channel platform that will enable you to deal with multiple stores in the same solution. So, and merchants, they're global these days. They need to do business in Europe and in the US and in Asia. So being able to do something like that's key.
Is Ucommerce suitable for a particular size of company?
I think what's interesting about Ucommerce is that it actually is able to work with both very small customers and pretty large ones. Mm-hmm. So it sits, at the lower end of the enterprise level there. And the reason it's so is because of the partnerships we have. They vary greatly in size and type of customer they address. Mm-hmm. So for one type of customer, it's open source, low end. Mm-hmm. For another type, it's more high end. And Kentico, is one of the ones to provide much more bang for the buck than what we typically see in a situation like this.
Mm-hmm. And one of the big questions I think people are probably wondering when they're understanding Ucommerce is what are the vertical markets that are more obvious in it?
Yeah, so we designed the platform originally to work primarily with B2C. And of course, but in actually almost every vertical market, we have examples of Ucommerce running, subscription businesses, donation business, ticketing systems, booking systems for, training and stuff like that. So the inherent nature of what we build is able to be to accommodate many different scenarios. So the scenarios we typically see it used for most just sort of happened.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And here's a question for anyone that wants to jump in. Let's talk about different geographies. Kentico has a significant presence in North America, EMEA, and Latin America, and Asia Pacific. Can we hear from both Kentico and Ucommerce about the different types of customer challenges that we've seen in those regions and how this integration is going to provide options to those people?
You want to start?
Sure, no worries. Yeah, so I think the marriage of a commerce platform and a content platform is interesting coming from this specific angle, because if you look at the Asian markets, it's pretty common not to have an actual computer to deal with the online shopping. It happens from your phone and via multiple devices, and this is exactly what Peter is talking about when he mentions how they're addressing the multi-channel nightmare, I think you call it. Mm-hmm. So the CMS actually helps us deal with market-specific situations like this exact one, where the mobile phone is the primary use case for commerce, and maybe not even in a web context, but in a chatbot context or something like that. Mm-hmm. For a market like Europe, it's interesting because it's a large market, but Europe is not just one market. It's lots of different markets, lots of fragmentation. So our ability to actually address those differences is what makes us useful there. And in the States, everything's just bigger. So yeah. you need bigger guns to basically make it work.
So Michael, I have the same question for you. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think we can agree that the e-commerce as it is, it's not really that different between the regions around the world, because what you want to achieve with e-commerce is basically to sell your goods, to somehow create your e-shops, create your brand, and sell everything you have on stock. But there are a few nuances, for example, the taxing, like the US and the Europe nuances, where for the US market we are using Avalara, of both of us, Kentico and also e-commerce, because the taxing in the US is so difficult that we are definitely unable to do something by ourselves to just meet the expectation that they have in the US. And Europe, that's slightly different because, as you said, Europe is a lot of small markets spread through the Europe. So every country has something special, but it's not that special as America. And but my favorite region is the Australia, because they have one simple tax, it's 10%. Even the number 10, that's so beautiful. If you want to do the math, what else can you just think of? 10. It's perfect.
It's your favorite tax area.
Yes, the kid can do it. You can teach the taxing in a grade school. Anyway, the taxing is definitely something that is different between the markets. And also the last thing for the commerce as it is, the payment, it also differs. For example, in America, you have PayPal is very popular in America. But for example, in Europe, there are regions where PayPal is or maybe nothing that is outside the state is allowed. For example, I think it's a Danish thing, and Netherlands have also the same thing, that you have to use the local banks, the local services they have provided. So that's something that I think Ucommerce is going to help us very much, because our support is for authorized.net, which is credit cards, and PayPal. So basically for the US. But in the Europe or in Australia, you have to build something by yourself. And Ucommerce has the support for, I think, 50 or more.
25.
25.
We're getting to 50.
So this is something that definitely will be beneficial for the users.
And I think another angle how to look at different regions is also the customer experience maturity. What we saw in North America many years ago, maybe 5 years ago, was that brands started to think more strategically about customer experience and how that creates a competitive advantage for them. And so they started adopting more complex or more sophisticated technologies such as personalization or marketing automation, also for e-commerce scenarios. And this trend is moving from North America to Europe and to Asia. So we see differences in this level of maturity.
That's definitely something great to point out. Soren, another question for you. Can you walk us through a short list of features and capabilities that Ucommerce will bring to Kentico 11?
Maybe? I'll try and keep it short.
Yeah, I was going to say short list is probably the tough part.
I think the primary one is the multi-channel capability we talked about. That is very clearly something that makes a difference. I think also, and this is a difference in philosophies, but we believe in creating unified approaches to the different problems that we find in commerce. And one of them is discounts, where discounts is so many things to so many people. So we created a unified rules engine that enable you to go in and modify the pricing on the fly using rules, so the merchant can do what he needs basically and combine lots of interesting aspects. And the beauty there is that because we build everything to be extensible, you can go in and add new rules that work in combination with what's already there. So you get a lot of flexibility out of the box, and you can add additional flexibility, get a lot of bang for the buck out of it. And the last thing I'd like to point out is, when you look at commerce, a commerce solution will always be connected with other systems. It will be connected with CRM systems, PIM systems, order management systems, all that stuff that make the whole business go.
Yeah.
And so part of what we ship is another product called Uconnector that basically facilitates data transport, transformation, and connectivity between line of business systems, so you can get that full automated flow between your ERP system and the commerce solution. Products basically flowing out of the ERP into Ucommerce where they're sold, orders being placed there, flowing back to order management systems on the back end. So super key in commerce.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point to bring up, actually. The other question I have is about technical support. Will Kentico 11 customers continue to get technical support through Kentico or Ucommerce?
So it will be a split. Kentico, of course, will continue to do exactly what they've done forever, and we'll continue supporting our shared customers. Because at the end of the day, it's two different products, two different sets of skills and knowledge that is required to support a customer. So, and I actually believe that that's also part of the value we bring to the table, because the people we have working support, they do commerce all the time. They don't do anything else. So when a customer has a question relating to commerce and how that works, we're pretty good at that.
Yeah, kind of drawing on the individual expertise.
Exactly.
Michael, question for you. Up to now, Kentico has done virtually all product development internally. Does this make a change in the Kentico business model? Might there be integrations to other strategic third-party solutions going forward?
We really like our technology partnership program, especially because the integration is as big as the Ucommerce one, but it doesn't mean that with a new extension, but it's not really an extension, with new integration we are going to drop our support. I don't think this is our policy, because we feel that even without the integration, the Kentico has some sort of a, how to put it, some sort of a face to the market, and we don't want to lose it. So if you somehow know that if you want to do something, you can go to Kentico. We don't want to tell you, okay, it was before 11. Now you have to go with this, and that. No, we don't want to do that. We are not going to compete with our integrations. That's definitely not the strategy we want to follow. But we still have to somehow keep the integrity, so keep the all-in-one solution, keep everything that our customers want from Kentico as it is. So that's the answer for what is going to change. Basically, nothing is going to change. We are still going to invest to the built-in e-commerce solution, because we know that there are a few gaps still missing, and we are going to fill it, but we are not going to compete with Ucommerce. Ucommerce is some sort of our expansion, some for our partner, and we are going to, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the right word, but we are going to fight the competition with Ucommerce. So basically, if a client will come to us and say, okay, I know that Kentico is a very good CMS, but on the other hand, I have something else. For example, a commerce-first system like Marketo or Magento, and we will say, all right, you can go with Magento if you want to, but with Kentico, you could use Ucommerce as an extension, and it will be as good, maybe better, as the opposite side. So this is something. This is our plan: how to extend Kentico outside our walls, outside the walls of our offices, and to fight another competition to cover more market. So every time the client will have to do something more with Kentico, and the Kentico itself really is not enough for the project, he can do it, because we will have the integrations. Right now we have Ucommerce integration for the commerce stuff. We will have a lot of others. I saw the list. It's pretty huge, and I think everybody is going to love it. So nothing is going to change with the Kentico as it is. We are going to support all the stuff that guys or the clients are currently like in Kentico, but we are going to extend it just to cover the more ground. That's the strategy, basically. And I'm sorry, I think you want to talk about strategy. I'm sorry on this one.
I actually wanted to say that, in short, it's all about providing our customers with more options and providing the right solution for their needs, and that's exactly what we're bringing with Ucommerce integration, but also with other integrations that we're working on as a part of our technology partnership program.
Kind of that premise, and then you'll fill in as you need, which is great.
And another thing I would like to tell or to say is that sometimes there are a few types of clients. Some clients are pretty strict; they want one solution for everything, reasons. And another clients are really based on, okay, we need the best from everything. So we want the best of breed for content. We want the best of breed for marketing and e-commerce and other stuff. So this integration is very important for those type of clients who already, for example, can use Ucommerce but with another vendor, and they want to switch. So they don't have to do the extra work if they want to go to Kentico, because it's already there. So that's the biggest benefit as well for this type of customers, and there are those type of customers.
Yeah, that's fantastic to bring up, that it kind of goes both ways, where you can bring people to Ucommerce and Ucommerce can bring people to Kentico, so that's fantastic. One of the questions I have, kind of to fast forward a bit, when Kentico 11 comes out on Monday, December 11th, customers will have the option of choosing either Kentico's native e-commerce capabilities or Ucommerce. Is it an either-or situation, or will the integration to Ucommerce be up and running on the same day?
Yes, I think I can answer that, but
go ahead.
Feel free to jump in.
Basically, the integration, I think the idea of integration is to integrate with something, and if the general system do something that you are integrating with, the something is going to be hidden. And that's what we are going to do, or what the integration with Ucommerce is doing. It's basically a new module that will kind of override our built-in e-commerce module, because it doesn't really make sense to integrate and only extend something that we already have in it, because Ucommerce is a solution. The whole solution is not something like we are going to make your order management better. No. It's entire e-commerce solution. So yes, it's either or choice for the clients.
And we will ship alongside Kentico 11 on December 2nd.
Oh, perfect.
December 11th, sorry about that. And we're actually shipping for version 10 a little earlier, because we have the ability to QA properly on that version a little in advance. So customers will actually be able to benefit from both versions.
Oh, that's fantastic, and that's great to point out too.
That's definitely fantastic, because we know for sure that a lot of clients need to wait. Some clients have a policy they can only update to version that is 2 version old. So basically now when we are going to launch Kentico 11, they can go to Kentico 9. So for this type of clients that are because of some policy binded to an older version, the fact that you are going to distribute also a port to Kentico 10 is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So Peter, question for you. It seems like this is a really strategic move for both companies. So what are your thoughts on what does this mean for the marketplace?
Well, with Kentico and Ucommerce integration, we're bringing to the market a very powerful combination. In the past, we had a really strong content management and digital marketing, and we had a solid e-commerce story. But now we will really have a winning combination of super powerful content management, digital marketing, and e-commerce. So this is something that very few vendors can offer. Plus, what's important to say is that Ucommerce is really fully integrated within Kentico, within our content management and digital marketing functionality. So it's not just a marketing integration that we see with many other vendors, but we really provide a solution that looks like a single product from the user perspective and from the developer perspective. So I believe this is a big game changer, and it will allow us to provide a much better solution to customers who want both powerful content management and digital marketing and powerful e-commerce.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Soren?
Yeah, well, we looked at when I reached out to you, Peter, in the beginning there. We did a meeting to figure out whether this made sense, and we looked at some of the magic quadrants for what do you actually need to spend to get this type of solution, and you actually have to spend a lot of money. You have to go to the very, very top of enterprise-based solutions. With this here, we're actually bringing something to market that sits in a gap in the market, where we can actually bring a lot of those capabilities that you have to really incur a lot of complexity and licensing costs to get to a much wider audience. So I'm very excited that we can take some of those super valuable capabilities and make them much more widely available.
That's fantastic. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. You've really enlightened us on how this is. As Peter said, it's a really big game changer for the industry.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.